a quorum. So if we can just say your name and here, and we'll start with Mr. Rosenberg.
Ronald Rosenberg, I'm here.
John Shepherd, here.
Kurt Burkhardt here.
And I'm Bo Carrington, and I'm here as well. We don't have any public hearings today, so our first order of business after that is approval of minutes from February 4th, 2025. This was a long time ago now. It was when we did our election of officers and had a variance request for a smaller lot out on Clark's Tract. Does anybody have any modifications to those minutes?
I move we approve the February 4th minutes.
Motion to approve the February 4th minutes as submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion further? All right, Ms. Alley, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Burkhart,
Aye.
Mr. Rosenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
Mr. Carrington,
Aye. Minutes are approved by a vote of 4-0. We have our old business item, which is to review and re-adopt the rules of procedure. You have the changes in your packet in red. Are there any further comments or discussion about our revised rules of procedure?
I have just a small thing. I do not want this to drift into a big English department fiasco. But so I'm just looking at the page. I'm just showing you like two different sections of red ink that the changes are. They basically say the same thing, but not exactly the same thing under two different headings. Does that matter, Jim? I mean,
It's not to be encouraged, but if you can live with it and understand what they're trying to say, that's, it's up to you.
well, it just seems a little wonky to me, if that's a word, but it's not. It's clear and it's saying it's saying the same thing in slightly different circumstances, but the meaning, I think, is clear. And if it comes up that we have a tie vote without a quorum, there's no doubt we've hammered this into our minds. We will not forget, and it will be offered.
Somebody will tell the applicant that they
Yeah,
have a
it'll-
right to appeal.
It's in our mind, so I'm happy with it.
I think that's conveyed.
Any further comments or discussion? Seeing none, let's make a motion.
I move we adopt the procedures as amended.
Motion to adopt the rules of procedures as submitted in our packets. Motion has been made by Mr. Rosenberg. Is there a second?
I second that.
Mr. Shepherd is seconded. Any discussion? Motion and a second. Ms. Alley, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
Mr. Burkhart,
Aye.
Mr. Rosenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Carrington,
Aye. Motion to re-adopt our rules of procedures as submitted passes 4-0. And our next item of business is new business for budget discussion. This is the highlight of today. Unless somebody has anything to jump in with, I think I would prefer just to go into a quick closed session. If Miss Alley would put that up on the screen, and if anybody else has anything that they'd like to say before that, then certainly we can do so. Sure. I think she might put it up on here. It's not, I don't think it's in our packet. Or script.
There's just a reference to it.
You get it right here.
Should I make the motion? Or you want to go ahead?
Whoever would like to do it.
Go ahead.
I move that the Albemarle County Board of Zoning Appeals go into closed meeting pursuant to section 2.2-3711 parentheses A of the Code of Virginia, under subsection 1, to discuss, consider, or interview prospective candidates for employment.
Motion made. Do I have a second?
Second. Oop, no. Oh,
Mr. Rosenberg, we're gonna give it to you. You seconded. Motion made by Mr. Shepherd. Mr. Rosenberg, second. Any further discussion? Ms. Alley, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Rosenberg,
aye.
Mr. Burkhart,
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
Mr. Carrington,
Aye. So we will now go into closed session.
Let's take a look at that.
I can't, it's admirable. You go and you study that.
Well, it's back on board here. I move that the Albemarle County Board of Zoning Appeals certify by a recorded vote that to the best of each member's knowledge that only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and identified in the motion authorizing the closed meeting were heard, discussed or considered in the closed meeting.
Motion made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Burkhardt has seconded. Any discussion? Ms. Alley, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Burkhart,
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd.
Aye.
Mr. Rosenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Carrington,
Aye. The certification of closed meeting passes 4-0. Our next item is upcoming. Well, before we go to upcoming meeting information, we'll just quickly address the letter agreement with Mr. Bowling. It starts on July 1, 2025 in a few weeks and goes through June 30 of 2026. This has been the topic of plenty of discussion, and I would like to ask for any discussion or a motion to accept that letter agreement. Any discussion? We can say in public, Mr. Bowling, thank you for all of your work. We certainly appreciate it. Is there a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion to accept.
Motion to accept the letter agreement with Mr. Bowling. Has been made. Seconded by Mr. Rosenberg. Ms. Alley, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Shepherd.
Aye.
Mr. Rosenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Burkhart,
Aye.
Mr. Carrington,
Aye. The letter agreement with Mr. Bowling is accepted by a vote of 4-0. And our next item is the upcoming meeting information. Do we have anything on the radar?
Not that I'm aware of, nothing that has been submitted so far.
Okay, well, we will wait to hear further on that, but thank you. Any other items for discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I wanted to bring this up under old business real quickly. We have 2 cases on appeal right now. I was wondering if we could get an update from the attorney's office on those.
So Andy Herrick, County Attorney, could you remind me of which 2 cases you're referring to?
The mop and gun case and the Costelet case.
Okay, so both of those are still pending with the court. There are not active court dates for either one of those cases. The court has inquired with us about setting a date for the Costa Lake case. So we're still working to set a date on that. So they're both pending before the circuit court, but without court dates at this point.
Thank you.
I'll just add one quick thing to that. I would want to make sure, I believe there was another Costolac case that had to do with cutting down trees. I think that was dropped. Is that right?
So
They
there
sold the land.
there are 2 cases involving Mr. Kostelak personally, one of which is Costa Lake, which involves a parcel in the Keswick area. That's the one that's pending before the circuit court. Mr. Kostelak was also involved with Polo G, an entity called Polo G, and Mr. Svoboda may be more familiar with this. I am not sure the status of the Polo G case.
Thought it was the reverse. No, I meant that.
Bart Swoboda, the Costa Lake case is the tree cutting case. So the one that you referred to, that was out Keswick way. So that is the one that is pending, as Mr. Herrick stated. The other case is off of Polo Grounds Road. It's the name Polo G. We did go to General District Court, and based on some notice issues, we resent those letters, and that case is kind of moving along. So at the point we're at now is that staff is working with Mr. Kostelak to get permits for those structures if possible. There's some streams and some other things that are on that property that we have to help him navigate, no pun intended, with DCR or the Corps, depending on what the stream, the classification of stream that comes out.
Is that possible to permit those buildings after our findings? After our, what we said about the appeal?
If we'll have to see how they get classified through the building code and if those labels are removed or not removed that way. So I don't, off the top of my head, I don't recall the particulars of the case, but I know that with those being industrialized buildings, that we had some issues with the labeling of those buildings and those being used for something other than what the label was for. So right now, we're telling him he has to remove them because he has them there without a permit. Until he submits a permit and we know what he's proposing, I don't want to potentially rule on kind of what I don't know, right? Because I don't know what he's going to submit them as.
I'm not prepared for this conversation either, but I sort of feel, it's like to me, like it falls into a thing decided thing.
Right.
I'm just a personal opinion throwing it out in the air. From what we,
Yes, sir.
from the hearing. Every day is interesting.
Thank you, Mr. Herrick. Any further discussion? I'd like to note Miss Jenny Tevendale is here. Thank you. We look forward to working with you. And if there are no other items for discussion, would request a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Shepherd. Miss Alley, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Burkhart,
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd,
All right.
Mr. Rosenberg,
Aye.
Mr. Carrington.
Aye. We're adjourned at 2:46. Thank you very much. It's 3 o'clock.
Go, man, go.
We hadn't done that. We would know.